Jimmy, if we start with Saturday's win on the weekend, what impressed you most? Because it seemed like a lot you'd worked on in the training pitch came to fruition there.
Yeah, probably a number of things. I thought we dominated the first half, had some really good spells in possession, worked a lot on positional play and making sure that we have a base position when we're in possession. I thought the lads did that very, very, very well. But also the nature of how the second half panned out. We had to be resilient, we had to defend a little bit deeper, probably too deep for my liking. But we showed a good compactness, a good resilience, a good mentality to defend, and obviously to hold on to the one goal lead, and then just score another 2 goals, and probably looking back at the game, reflecting back at the game, you'll probably have an opportunity to score another 2-3 goals, clear-cut chances. So yeah, it was kind of a good all-round performance in terms of we governed the game at times with the ball, which is most pleasing for me, but also showed a real resilience to defend.
You welcome Kyle back and Tyrone as well into the squad. Have you got that healthy competition for places now with the players coming back from injury and suspension?
I think we will do. Obviously the ones who've been out a little bit longer, it's going to take them a little bit longer to get up to full speed to be able to challenge in for starting positions, but it always helps. It helps to add to the intensity of training. I think, regardless of what kind of character and personality you are, I think when you're playing and you've got nobody, you almost, your position almost picks yourself into the team. I think people can become a little bit complacent without knowing it. I'm not saying that's been the case, but I think it's natural. And when somebody's back pushing you, you're always going to push each other and compete and hopefully get more out your performances and how you train, and obviously most importantly how you play. So it's good for me. It's a good headache for me to have good quality players all competing for a start. So obviously welcome both those boys back to the team.
Before we move on to tomorrow's game, I know you wanted to touch upon Halesowen's achievements. I mean, semi-final of the FA Trophy, not bad is it for a non-league side?
No, it's an unbelievable achievement. So massive congratulations to Halesowen Town. I know Paul Smith actually played with Paul at Alfchurch way back in 2002, 2003, I think. So I'm delighted for him. As a young manager, he's done a fantastic job there. Their league form has been very, very good also, and to get to this stage of the competition and to play against the teams that they've played and beat those teams is credit to them. I also know quite a number of their playing squad. So I lived in Halesowen for a short period of time myself, for about 6-7 years. So I know what the club means to the local community, and those guys, Paul and the people behind the scenes are doing some fantastic things to give the community a football club to be proud of.
Hartlepool now on tomorrow. Take 2 really from the first postponement. Does it give you a chance to build on the momentum gained from Saturday's win?
Yeah, hopefully, and back-to-back home games always help. Obviously they have the travel within their legs, and we don't have that, so that's going to be hopefully an added advantage. The nature in our performance and our result on Saturday, 100% we need to set that into the next game. We've obviously prepped previously for this game, and it was unfortunately called off. But what it has give us time to get together as a group, for the players to understand me a little bit more and me to understand the players a little bit more. And I probably feel a bit more confident, if I'm honest with you. 2 weeks down the line, or 2.5 weeks down the line, going into the game. So we've just got to keep building on what we're about and what we do. And as I said, if we can perform in the way that we did, in spells or for large parts against Dagenham. And in spells on Saturday, we'll be okay.
We mentioned before how tight the league is, and Hartlepool just 3 points below us. What do you expect from them?
I think every game's going to be competitive, regardless of league standings. That's the nature of being in a professional industry, and we're in and around them, they're in and around us. When you have those fixtures, they can almost count as 6 points. You can get some real, gain some real ground, or get away from people and pull away from people. So, from our perspective, it'll be no different to any game of, regardless of who we play, what their league standing is. We always will plan and prepare in a certain fashion. So, and that's what we've done for this game, and looking forward to the game on Tuesday night. And will they pose a threat? Most definitely. Most definitely they'll pose a threat. And as I keep saying, we've got to make sure it's more about what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve, with those slight adjustments into handling different formations, different shapes, and different personnel.
Of course, just your 3rd league game in charge, but given that we've got 10 games left, are you looking to sort of get some breathing space between yourselves and the chasing pack?
Yeah, and I said to you previously, you know, every game in each game in isolation, you know, one game at a time, and that's what we'll look to do. And regardless whether we were, you know, in the bottom half of the table, mid-table, top half of the table, I want to win every game. I'm competitive, and that's how we plan and prepare within the working week to play a certain way to give us, you know, the end result, 3 points on a Saturday. So for me, there's 10 games. It gives us opportunity to keep enhancing what we're doing, what we're trying to deliver. You know, and as I said, we'll tackle each game in isolation and with a 3 point winning mentality.